Okay, so I'm going to go through bar pullovers and the two different variations, the FRF Fitness Racing Federation variation and the CrossFit Games variation, because I think either could come up at competition. So I'm going to go through the FRF one first and show you a few tips for that and how the kit differs, both at the start and during, like when you're linking reps. So let's have a look at this. So you start this variation of a bar pullover like you would a kipping pull-up, to be honest. So you'll see I'll do a kipping pull-up first. Involves a chin over bar hold, and it's super important that you keep that lock there, okay? Because if you start to let yourself down, your hips won't sit in the bar when you start to do the spin around the bar, okay? So if I go here now, you can see I've still got a bend in my arms. I'm not like super locked in, but it's relatively tight, okay? And this allows me to get the bar straight into my hips. If I was kind of arms extended, I would be hitting the bar kind of mid-thigh, okay? So important that you kind of keep that lock, keep a tight lock. And you see going into reps, again, kipping pull-up, so you drop down like you would a normal bar muscle up or a kipping pull-up. Keep that locked arms, just move a second rep. One final thing as well on this is, so when you spin round, notice my hand comes around. So one of the reasons why people sometimes get stuck on the bar, head kind of facing the floor, looking back, is that they don't let their hands spin around the bar. So you notice like my knuckles facing the back wall, and then as I come around, I've got to loosen my grip slightly to let my hands spin around before, going into the next rep.
Easy.
Looking more at the side on view, just so you can see it a little bit more clearly. I kind of keep a relatively tight like arm angle. It's kind of goes no more than 90 degrees. Again, it allows me to get my hips straight into the bar to pull round to then go into the next rep. So that's the FRF version. So like I say, the main things are when you're doing this variation, it's more similar to a kip and pull up or a bar muscle up. So the same kind of movement patterns that we're looking for. Okay. So the games variation. So one of the big things just to start off with on this is definitely make sure that you're jumping from right behind the bar. And notice rather than, so with a kip and pull up or a bar muscle up or that FRF variation I've just showed you, you jump up into a hollow. But for this, you jump up into an arch. So this then allows you to kick straight through. So notice Philroy's arms are slightly bent as well. He's kind of doing a bit of a strict, little bit of a pull up in an arch when he jumps up into the arch. So he's doing a pull up as he's kicking through with straight legs. So this is super important that you kick through with straight legs while doing that bit of a strict pull up on the bar. And again, that just allows you to get those hips straight into the bar, okay? Whereas if you don't do the strict pull-up part, again, your thighs are likely to hit the bar. If you don't kick with straight legs, you tend not to have enough power to get yourself up, okay? So the longer you are, the longer the lever, the more power, the more it's going to make that bit of a strict pull-up that little bit easier as well. Okay, so obviously when I dropped down before, I was dropping down into a hollow like you would a bar muscle up or a kip and pull up. Notice what Philroy does here. And obviously the other thing is when you do a bar muscle up, you drop from, just slightly behind the bar. For this, you want to create momentum and a bit more of like a circle. So if we watch Philroy here, he drops into an arch and he actually drops like quite far back. Okay. Because then that gives him the momentum. So he's kind of dropped down around here. So this gives him the momentum to drop down and kick into the next rep. So when we were looking at the first rep when he started it, he was pretty much in this position that he's in now. So he's going to kick through again, and he's going to do that bit of a strict pull up, and that's going to take him straight into that second rep. And again, kind of drops back more, which allows him to go straight back into that next rep. So that's the main difference between the two variations, is how you, that's Phil Roy going for the FRF variation. And let's just take it back to, here he is again. So that's the main difference is, how you jump up and then how you initiate the kip. It's completely different. For this last one, does he do what I was... Yeah, I might do actually. Okay. So this last video, he does the FRF variation, and then he drops down and he goes into the CrossFit Games variation. So FRF drops down to the hollow, CrossFit Games drops down into the arch. So you can kind of see the difference between the two variations there. All right. Hopefully that's helpful and gives you a few pointers. Let us know if you have any questions or if you need any more help. Just drop us a message.